Ever since Ranboo joined the Dream SMP, there has always been this question of what and who he is. A few things have been confirmed, such as the fact that he is part enderman, and he dislikes the idea of choosing sides. But so many other questions still remain. Before we begin, the character of Ranboo is extremely complicated, perhaps even the most complicated character we've seen yet. So I may not be able to answer every question regarding Ranboo, but I will try my best to touch on the most important aspects. Also, I have something interesting to share with you that I almost guarantee you won't find anywhere else. But would you look at that? Chances are you probably aren't subscribed. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. And hey, thank you for watching.
Pork chop.
First of all, let's talk about the science of Ranboo. How does his biology work? Something that is known for sure is that he is half enderman. So he possesses some enderman traits, such as being able to silk touch blocks and being sensitive to water. And that has been established pretty well, so we don't need to dive into that very much. However, a really big question is what his other side is. And this is something that I'm honestly not too sure about. There's some good evidence for a lot of theories. Ranboo could be infused with a dreamin' or a ghast, maybe he's half iron golem or half killer rabbit. It's just a bit hard to conclude anything at the moment. However, the big thing when it comes to Ranboo's other side is how it looks. A red eye and white skin. Something that I found very interesting was that part of him bleeds green blood, which typically only occurs in certain reptiles in real life. This could be part of his enderman side though, since that eye is green. The bottom line is, whatever caused Ranboo to become this concoction of different creatures probably lies with genetics. Something that this video, which I'll link, talks about very, very well. I recommend watching that after this video because I gotta say, it does a great job of laying out some good theories about the biology of Ranboo. A few other things science related before I talk about some psychology. When Ranboo cries, it apparently causes him pain, leading me to think that his body probably contains little to no water. Either that, or he is very good at masking pain. Next up is his ability to create matter at will, meaning he's able to create infinite energy. Although, this phenomenon happens in Minecraft quite a bit, so it's not that big of a deal. Infinite food though, that might come in handy. Next thing I want to bring up is the psychology of Ranboo, because let me tell you, the way he thinks and acts is very fascinating. I have identified 4 big problems Ranboo faces when it comes to his psychology: anxiety, hallucinations, memory problems, and that special idea I mentioned before, which I'll get to shortly. One of Ranboo's biggest problems is anxiety. He isn't a fan of stressful situations, such as peer pressure and other high-stress situations. And fair enough, man, same here. But the question is, why? Well, not why he is anxious, because there are so many reasons to be anxious, but perhaps there's a deeper cause to his anxiety. Maybe something to do with a split personality due to the two halves? The second big psychological problem is the hallucinations, which Ranboo tends to have. This has been debated, but it seems that some things that happen to Ranboo are hallucinations, such as that prison visit. Probably the most iconic thing that Ranboo does is his tendency to make use of his memory book, because when he gets into high-stress situations, he actually doesn't remember them. But this isn't as far-fetched as it may seem, because this actually happens in real life. See, when one experiences a highly traumatic event, the brain shuts the memory out. This is called dissociation. The brain does this to protect itself, which makes sense. A mental disorder doesn't necessarily cause this, but the frequency and low threshold for this when it comes to Ranboo makes me think there's something more going on here. Alright, so what is this special topic that I keep referencing? Well, it's this idea that I've been developing for quite some time now, and it ties into my other nerd analysis videos. And honestly, I haven't seen this anywhere else, but I'm sure someone else has thought of something similar to this, which is the meaning of the Dream SMP, what this story is trying to convey. And when it comes to Ranboo, it gets very, very interesting. For the character of Ranboo, I have identified 3 main archetypal ideas. First is a reference to Medusa. The second is a Jekyll-Hyde situation, and the third is the extra special idea that I've been constructing. It's something that I haven't heard anywhere else. It's the idea of chaos versus order. My Discord server and I have been discussing this a bit, and we came up with the term status theory. If you'd like a full explanation of that, check out this video. It'll only take a few minutes, and I'm sure you'll find it interesting. But back to status theory. Keep in mind that I'm still developing this idea, and I'll be making a more detailed video on this, so make sure you subscribe. So there are two governing forces in the Dream SMP, and actually in real life too. See, this whole entire time during the Dream SMP, these two great forces have been going back and forth. The idea is that they are striving for balance, but balance is never truly held. For instance, when the government of L'Manberg rises up, order, Technoblade knocks it down, chaos. And that's not just order and chaos in a governmental sense. When the villain of Dream gets locked up, order, a certain egg must come out and become the next main villain. Chaos. There are a few reasons for this too. Mainly, it's the best for content. We need some downtime, but we also need action. It's just the most entertaining. Okay, so where does Ranboo come into this? Well, there are a few things. Firstly, take a look at his Minecraft skin. He has a black side and a white side, very similar to the yin-yang symbol, which deserves its own video, but essentially symbolizes the balance between chaos and order. The fact that Ranboo has a black side and white side symbolizes the same exact idea. He is a manifestation of the battle between chaos and order. Not only this, but it sounds like there's a Jekyll-Hyde situation going on here. Jekyll-Hyde referring to the classic novel by Robert Louis Stevenson. See, Ranboo has these moments where his psyche is split, almost like there are two people living in the same body. This again symbolizes the idea of chaos and order. The idea is man has two sides to him, a bestial side and a more refined side. See, it's really, really hard to get the balance right between these two. We struggle with it every day in the real world. And that's who Ranboo is. These two forces of chaos and order manifesting themselves in this one character. And boy, is it fun to watch. Like, geez, Ranboo's acting is good. Now, I don't really have an outro yet, so I guess I'll just say, hey, you better subscribe, man. And hey, check out these cool videos that are appearing on the screen right now, man. Oh my goodness, this is magic. They're like appearing out of nowhere. Oh my goodness, dude, you gotta check them out. You gotta check them out before they go. I mean, I can wait. I don't really. Man, I need an outro.